Welcome to the podcast. This podcast is entitled, Do Debates Matter? Before I get into the politics part, I'm just going to talk about the whole UFO deal for a minute. I listened to Lue Elizondo's book. I think it's pretty good. There isn't a lot of new stuff. There's some new stuff, but a lot of that stuff we've heard before. But the stuff we haven't heard before is the fact that he was inside this program and running the program. That Green Street guy on the basement office, he got all disenchanted and got all mad and turned into that whoever that other debunker guy is his name Mac? I can't remember. And he's like, so this was just Elizondo working on it on his own. And at least from what Elizondo says, he claims there were a lot of people working on his program. So it wasn't just him working on it on the side. And the Pentagon just lies. I guess. I mean, I think we've moved past the point where Elizondo is a plant. All these other people would have to be plants too. Nick Pope, the Mellon guy, some of these other people. I don't see how they're all plants from the government. It seems like they're people inside the establishment who think this is bad. I mean, unless it's some really well orchestrated. But I don't think David Grush is fake. I don't think Graves is fake. I don't think the other guy, the pilot, I can't remember, the Tic Tac pilot guy. I don't think these guys are all plants. They would have to all be working together for the CIA to fool us. But to fool us into what? I guess, supporting more funding for the military because of a fake alien invasion. Okay. But then why is that doesn't seem like that helps them. What I mean is, if the Pentagon, then why is the Pentagon undercutting these guys? It's just there's too much of it to be completely a hoax. It doesn't make sense that they're all hoaxing us. The more we watch it, the more credible they seem. So I don't know what to think with the whole thing. But it does show that there's people on the inside working on this. And it validates what some other people have said. I believe the guy. One of the main things that I want to know about this whole deal is that if there's 0-point energy devices like, what's his name, Greer talks about, if you haven't watched his documentary, The Lost Century, I think it's worth watching. And he claims there are inventors who have devices that produce free energy. And that those technologies are being held back from us, because it would fundamentally change the world and the oil industry would just go away. Because think about all the things that you have that you pay for electricity. Think what a colossal industry that is. Think how much money is being spent on that. And that would just all dry up and blow away. No, not immediately, because what he claims is you'd have to have all the people making those devices. But once they're made, you just have like a little thing, a little box in your house that provides power for your house, as much power as you need. Think how much that would change, like, banking, because the biggest drawback for Bitcoin is that it uses so much electricity. There are some other, like Ethereum doesn't use a lot of electricity anymore. The other one, the one that uses hard drives, can't remember what it's called now. It doesn't use hardly any electricity, especially compared to Bitcoin. But none of that would matter. So that's my biggest thing with that. I don't know. I don't know about the aliens thing. I don't know if it's Satan, if there's evil behind it. I don't know how just cut and dried it is that they're just aliens, and I don't know about that part of it. But the free energy part is what I want. And I've contacted legislators about it, and they just reply, well, I want nuclear and all the above, and they say all that stuff. They never respond to the 0 point energy thing. But they should. Because if that's real at all, then we should be looking at that instead of fusion and whatever other stuff they're talking about. We don't need fusion. We don't need solar panels. If there's any truth to any of that, then we should go after that. And that one, the idea that that's being suppressed, that stands up to a logical test. Of course it's being suppressed. Of course it is. You really think people wouldn't try to suppress something like that? Come on. Of course they would. So that matters more to me than finding out about the Greys or whatever. I don't really... We've kind of, like, I don't know. I guess most people don't believe it yet. I guess I kind of do now. But I don't think it's going to change the world that much. It might just freak people out. So anyway, I guess that's my thing with the UFO deal. It seems like there are legit people on the inside who are looking at UFOs, and it's being hidden from us. And I was listening to this one guy, Joseph Jordan, and he claims it's all fake. All the abductions are fake. All the stuff is fake. And that it's Satan. It's satanic and it's anti-Christian. And he claims he has quite a bit of evidence. The problem with that is, and I would kind of rather that be true than that we are like apes and they're superior to us. That kind of sucks. But that matches with Elizondo's, when that Theories of Everything guy asked him, once people find out what this is all about, how are they going to feel? And he said they'll feel somber. And that matches, because in his book he says we're not the alpha species. And so, like, I saw a thing about, I don't remember what it was talking about, but it was an account of when some of these explorers went into the jungle in Africa and they wanted to, like, kidnap a gorilla so they could put it in a zoo or whatever. This is like, I don't know, 1870s or something like that. And the gorillas fought them. And they killed like 50 gorillas on the way out of there. They shot 50 gorillas. And gorillas are stronger than us. In a hand-to-hand fight, we would lose. But our technology and our brain power makes us superior to them. And gorillas are pretty smart. They live in, I don't know hardly anything about them, but they live in groups. They're pretty smart. I don't like the idea that we are that and the aliens are the guys with the guns. And I guess Lue says that's true. And that would make you feel somber, I think. So, I don't know. All that stuff, I've kind of sick of the whole UFO thing, frankly. I'm kind of really read some books and listened to all the stuff. Richard Dolan, I've listened to everything he has. And I haven't read his long book, UFOs and National Security State, but I just want to know about the free energy thing. That's what I want. Because it doesn't seem like the aliens are here to help us. They're just looking at us. It's either they don't care or they have sinister intent. That's what it seems like to me. I don't see a lot of good coming out of it. Otherwise, why isn't it getting better? They're not like fixing the world. I mean, maybe they are through like new inventions or whatever. Okay. But where's the 0 point energy? I think more than anything that would change everything. Think how much that would change everything. We wouldn't care about the Middle East. We wouldn't worry about global warming. So many things would change if we had free energy, or pretty much free energy. And without radiation, without any danger. Yeah, go watch that documentary, The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It, it's called. He says they have an interview on there of a guy who claims he's under threat, so they disguise his voice. But he says he has a device in his house that just powers his house forever. I don't know what it does. And Greer claims he's talked to many of these guys, but they don't want to bring it to the public. And I think some of these people have been threatened. Like, you've heard that story about the guy who made a car that runs on water and he got poisoned. He drank a glass of wine and died or something. And his last words were, "They got me," or something like that. I don't doubt that now. I don't doubt that. It sounds crazy, but hey, if you don't think since COVID that things that sound crazy could be real, I don't know what's going on with you. You're not paying attention, or you're still in the matrix of the the little world that the media has created for you, that many of us after COVID and all the lies and the vaccines and the stolen election and all this stuff, we're kind of like, whoa, this world, the world that's being presented to us is not what they're presenting to us. There's something else going on here. Okay, so there's that. Now on to the debate and the election. I don't know. For me, debates don't matter that much. I watch them. They're kind of annoying. I feel like they're just kind of... it's this thing that we do that doesn't matter. I don't know. What I want is for them to sit down at a podcast and say what they think about stuff. Not this stupid, these buzzers. It's so stupid the way they do it. If you watch the JFK Nixon debate, they had a good, bunch of time to say what they thought, and they would just say, well, this and this and this, and I think this is what we should do. It wasn't this really quick, you have 2 minutes, and then there's a buzzer. Okay, we're going to mute your microphone now. It But let's talk about that debate for a second. So that won the election for JFK. It was a very close election. Nixon had been around for a while. He was Eisenhower's vice president, and he almost won. He came really close to winning. Some people claim that Mayor Daley in Chicago stole it for JFK, and Nixon said, I know JFK is a patriot, so even if he did steal it, we don't need to drag the country through that. How are we going to prove it and all that? So anyway, that's another wrinkle about that election. But the reason he won that debate, nobody remembers what they talked about. I've watched it. I don't even remember what they talked about. I remember JFK talking about farmers or something, but they weren't that different on the issues. It wasn't like today. And but everybody was like, Nixon looked sweaty and pale, and JFK looked calm. It's because JFK had makeup on, because he was on TV. And I'm like, okay, so what? If you put Madison up there, he would have looked, he was like 5 feet tall, a tiny little guy with a whiny voice. He wouldn't have looked good either. Washington didn't speak very well, I guess, in public. The thing about Lincoln, like supposedly this kind of weird high voice, tall and gangly, he didn't look good either on camera. Who cares about that? How are they going to govern? I don't know that, but that's what won it for JFK. And it seems like that debate last time for Trump, where he just kept cutting off Biden. It seems like that lost it for Trump. So that makes me think, well, do these debates, I guess they do matter because they swing elections, but do they matter in the way that we hope they matter? Or is it just like a student council election where they're like, oh, he did the funniest joke, or he did this skit that was awesome at the assembly, and I'm going to vote for him because he's cool and he was funny. Well, is he going to do well in the office that you're giving him? I don't know, man. He's cool. Is he responsible? I don't know. Think about the Reagan, that joke where he's like, I'm not going to use my opponent's youth and inexperience against him, and got the big laugh, and even the opponent laughed. And I guess what's his name? Can't remember his name right now. His opponent, Mondale, his campaign director, Bob Beckel, behind the scenes was like, we just lost. And I'm like, really? Because of a joke? That's how we're deciding that he should get reelected? He was better than Mondale anyway, but Bob Beckel knew, everybody at home just saw this really like smooth joke, and that's why people are going to vote for Reagan. People are going to vote for Reagan anyway. But I just feel like if you're on the fence and a joke, first of all, I don't know why anyone would be on the fence. I mean, do you not know anything? Are you not paying attention that much that you think both sides are the exact same thing? Yeah, both sides have their problems, and there is this aspect of the uniparty. But if you think Trump is the same thing as Kamala Harris, and if you think that he is the same thing as what the Democrats are going to do, what? They're not the same thing. And then people say, well, I'll vote for somebody else. Oh, don't get me started on the third party thing. You don't get to vote for someone else. I mean, technically you get to, but it's not going to make a difference. It's like, I don't like who's in the Super Bowl, so I want these other guys to win. I want I'm going to go watch the arena football guys. And they're holding their own game today. Okay, but they can't win the Super Bowl. I don't care. I don't like who's in the Super Bowl. Okay. So it's stupid. This is stupid. One of the two is going to win. So if you're on the fence still, do you not? Let's look at some things. I wrote some things down here. Do you really think that Trump is going to do the same thing as Kamala Harris on illegal immigration, the Supreme Court, the federal courts, foreign wars, and neocon foreign policy, trying to force all these countries to become democracies and meddling all over the world in places that we probably shouldn't be meddling, trying to bring jobs back to the United States? Do you really think they're going to do the same thing there? Do you realize when Trump negotiated the USMCA, the thing that replaced NAFTA, one of the things he put in there was Mexico can't sell cars to us unless those cars are made by people getting competitive wages. I think it's like $16 an hour, or maybe it adjusts for inflation or something. Everybody agrees. Both sides agree the USMCA is a huge deal. Biden never would have done that. Rhinos wouldn't have done that either, right? The Romney types, they couldn't care less that all the jobs went over to China. They think that's awesome because it helped Wall Street. And free trade, man. Free trade. We all got duped by that for 30 years. When they say, oh, China has brought 100 million people out of poverty. Yeah, because they put 40 million of our people into poverty when they shipped all those jobs over there. And now they can pay 2 people or 3 people or 4 people what they used to pay one person over here and pay them nothing. That's how they lifted all those people out of poverty. They took our good jobs and sent them over there and pay them peanuts. And yeah, that country is benefiting from that. Our country definitely is not. So if you want more of that kind of crap, then don't vote Trump, I guess. What about gun control? Kamala said before she would take guns away from us. And Biden said, you can't do that. And she said, I don't care. So you want that? How about keeping abortion with the states, keeping it out of the federal government? Trump's not going to sign an abortion law across a federal law. At least he said he won't. Do you want the Democrats trying to push that? Do you realize when you vote for a person, you're voting for their party? It's not just that person. And so you're either going to get Democrats populating the government or you're going to get Republicans populating the government. It's not just Trump or Harris. Think about all the cabinet offices. The president picks all of those. Like I said, think about all the federal judges. The president picks all of those. And, of course, the Supreme Court judges. If you're glad that Roe v. Wade got overturned, 100% of that credit goes to Trump. If he didn't get elected, we would have a Democrat court now instead of a right-wing court. So if you didn't vote for Trump because, oh, he's a nasty guy, well, you didn't help get that done. You don't deserve any credit for that. Grow up and realize that it's between one of the two parties. and you acting like you're superior to all of us who hold our nose and vote for Trump, you're not helping us improve the country. The only thing you can do with your vote on the presidential level is move the country more towards the way you want it to go. You don't get exactly what you want. You either get some of what you want or you get everything you don't want because the other side wins. You have to learn that about American presidential politics. You don't get the luxury of voting for well, I don't like either of them. Well, which one do you like more? I don't like either of them, though. He's nasty. Is he better than her? If he's better than her, if his party is better than her, then you vote for him. Because he's going to pick people from his party, or people that agree with him anyway. This is how it works. The whole thing is so aggravating. I just can't do it. I can't do it. He's a nasty guy. Okay. What are you going to tell your grandkids? Well, I couldn't vote for him. He's a nasty guy. Yeah, but she did all this crazy stuff that's now affecting us. He wouldn't have done that. So why didn't you vote for him? Because he was nasty. I couldn't do it. He cheated on his wife. All right, but she got us into World War III, and she let in 20 more million illegal immigrants. And on down the line, she ran up the debt. She did all this stuff. Well, I couldn't vote for him. Sorry. They're not going to thank you for making yourself feel better by not voting for him. Just think 25 years down the road. You have to pick the better one. And if you're conservative, or if you care about America, and you're not a communist at this point, you have to vote Trump. So the reason I'm saying this in relation to debates is, I guess debates do matter for those people who are still on the fence. I don't get it. A couple more instances. Clinton, right? In 1992, George Bush Sr. was the most popular, or 91 after the Gulf War. So popular because of the Gulf War. And nobody legit on the Democratic side wanted to run against him. So Bill Clinton's like, well, I got nothing to lose. I'm a nobody, but I got nothing to lose. So he comes along. He's a used car salesman, right? He's a sleazy dude. And this lady stands up at a debate and asks President Bush something like, how does the deficit affect your daily life? This is a dumb question. It doesn't affect anyone's daily life. Long term, it will affect us. But like right now, it doesn't affect us. Anyway, I think that was the question. You can go watch the clip. And he kind of fumbled around like, well, I don't know. The deficit affects us in certain ways, you know. And Clinton stands up and says, I feel your pain. I know it's hard for you. And it's just BS, just like slick BS. And everybody just, he's such a wonderful candidate. And Bush doesn't care about real people. Bush was just trying to answer the kind of weird question. Clinton didn't answer it either. And another time when Bush was looking at his watch. Oh my gosh, he's looking at his watch. Oh, like, really? That's why people didn't vote? Like, what? That swayed some voters? Come on, people. Obama. Okay? He's debating Romney. The first debate, Romney mopped the floor with Obama. The second debate, the one where they're sitting at the desks, maybe that was the third debate. Yeah, I think that was the third debate. And he's talking about how I think Romney was saying, yeah, Russia isn't our biggest enemy, and we need a bigger navy. Maybe he was. I can't remember. Everything has flip-flopped around. But I know Romney was saying we need a bigger navy. And Obama was like, we don't have any more. We have less cannons and horses today, too, than we used to. And it's like, dude. And what did he say? And the 1980s are calling and they want their foreign policy back. Like, and everybody's like, oh, he wrecked Romney. Oh. And it's like, yeah, that's a cute line. But we need a competent Navy. Ships, the number of ships do matter. My point with that is Obama turned it into a rap battle. Right? And I'm not saying just he does this. They all do it. This is how debates go, right? Where, like the Reagan joke, right? When he went against Carter, when he said, well, there you go again, lying about me, right? And everybody was like, oh, that's a nice folksy way to put it. I like this guy. It's like, really? That means he'd be a good president? Like, it's just dumb. It's just Maybe democracy is just dumb. Maybe this part of democracy is just annoying. That people are just dumb and they're not paying attention. So maybe, unfortunately, debates do matter a lot because I think on Tuesday night, I don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday night. What do you think's going to happen? People, who's on the fence? Seriously, who's on the fence? I don't understand. Who is looking at, I know there's people who just don't want to vote for either one. Okay. None of us really do. I like Trump now more than I used to. But I still don't really like him that much. And Kamala, do you think she's acting dumb? How can she be that dumb? Who's that dumb? Like, she's dumb. It's so weird. Like, BS answers on a test. That's what all of her comments sound like. Just BS. I don't know the answer. You've done this on a test, so you just write a bunch of crap, thinking that the more crap you write, maybe you'll get a better grade. That must be how she got through law school. What else explains it? She is dumb. And, Trump isn't, he is better, but, I don't know. He's dumb too, but dumb in different ways. So, anyway, some things to think about. The presidential debates do matter, unfortunately. I just think the parts of them that people remember are the dumb rap battle parts. Where everybody's like, oh, you got wrecked. And they're like, well, did you listen to the rest of the debate when they're talking about this and that? No, but he said something dumb. And then she, smacked him upside the head with this cool insult. Like, all right. So that's why you're going to vote for her? Like, this is stupid. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Trump shuts his mouth and lets her make a fool out of herself and doesn't let her bait him. Like, he did a really good job against Biden. And so, as well as Trump can do, that little part where they were bickering about the golfing. That's the dumbest thing that's ever happened in a debate. We'll see if the moderators stay out of it. But think about that debate and how much they were just trying to showcase how bad Biden is so they could get rid of him. It's kind of obvious that that's what they were doing. All of a sudden, the CNN people don't side with Biden and just let him flop? When has that ever happened? And everybody's like, oh, now they're doing their jobs. Well, no, there's an agenda here. That's why they're doing their jobs. Because they want Biden to flop so they can get rid of him. It's like, grow up. Again, people, have you not been watching what's going on? All right. Thank you for listening.